Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me well, guys? Okay, guys, welcome to everyone that is joining. I'm going to start with the readings. I don't want to waste time. So, yes, the list of people that I'm going to be reading for today are Japanese actors and actresses. I did pick some, and they are in the pinned comment that I left. So, yes, I'm going to start with the first actor, and then I'm going to go on to the next. Okay, I'm going to begin with Fumiya Takahashi. Fumiya Takahashi. I'm going to be reading for him. Fumiya Takahashi. A lot of swords for this man, for Fumiya Takahashi, and also the Justice card. Is he going through some kind of legal battle, legal issue? Because there's a lot of news, a lot of statements, a very clear mind. We start with the King of Swords for Fumiya Takahashi. We have the Justice. We have the Two of Cups in the middle. We have the Ace of Swords. And then we have the Ten of Cups. He's a family man, right? He's married. Then from the other cards of the other decks, I have the Six of Wands, that the keyword is victory. And then I have the Seven of Wands in this Oracle Rider. And the phrase of this is, it says, only for today I declare peace. I declare peace to whoever is fighting against me. So very much like defending himself, very much on this poster of also not giving in, even though probably things are okay now and they are going to be resolved and there's going to be a positive outcome of this. But I do feel him very much like, he has an objective, or he has like, he's sort of sending a message out. And his poster is also very much like, I'm going to get you. I'm going to push or pursue until the end, until I get the result that I want, or until I get, I think that justice is involved, definitely. Probably journalism as well, like journalists, like a lot of people talking, but they don't talk negatively of him, because actually the outcome is very positive. So I wonder if he had been dealing with this for a very long time. With the Two of Cups in the middle, I think that maybe he's for this year, but maybe he is always like this with him. I think that if he's married or if he's in a relationship, it seems like his priority is his family or his spouse or his partner. There's something about this person. I don't see, like, I don't see him working on something or being like focused on a project, or his energy going towards, creating something new. I think that whatever he's fighting, it more has to do with him defending his loved ones, maybe, or him defending his relationship. But in the middle, I have the Two of Cups. So there's something about, also a sense that maybe he wants to reach out to the audience, for the audience to be more compassionate towards him, to be more understanding towards him, to be more understanding of his circumstances, and understanding that this is a man that, at least for now, I think that his priority is his family or his relationship, if he has one. I see him like he gets very fierce. He gets very much on the defensive when it comes to defending his loved ones. And I think that he has, or he's going to come out to say something, to clarify something, in order to keep protecting, um, not just his family, but I think that probably maybe is the fans or a whole community that is very devoted to him, that he feels like family. So this is why this man is like, he's wasting no time. He's very much on the defensive. He's very much like, I'm going to get victorious. I'm going to get the result that I want. But something happened in the past, because a man that comes with this energy, I think that he had to stand up, or he had to maybe say something. But I definitely see him just very sure of himself. But in the middle, we have the Two of Cups. So for him, relationships is like what matters the most for him. Maybe he's trying to protect his relationship, or the person that he is with. Um, I see him more like a family person also. He's very devoted to the people that is devoted to him. And probably there's like a huge group of people that are very supportive of him. I don't want to say like fans, because it feels like it's bigger than fans. Probably it's like a family. It feels very it feels like he's someone that maybe he attracts bigger crowds, or if he has a fandom, the fandom is like very large. But for him, it's like, I'm going to protect my loved ones, I'm going to protect my people. um but yeah, I think that whatever he's fighting, or he has been fighting, is going to come out like successfully for him. He's going to be victorious. He's going to be victorious. I see him. And I also see, with this card of the Seven of Wands, somehow he wishing his enemies well. Like I'm not in the mood for fighting anymore. Like, I think that if you don't like me, if you don't like the way I live my life, it's okay. I wish you the best. I wish you to be, peaceful and happy in your endeavors, but just, stay away from mine, from my people, from my way of doing things. um I don't know how old he is, but probably there's something about him also, being in this state in his life where he's very mature, where he is very, he's someone that he went through things in his life. He probably knows about the business, he knows about certain things. So for him, to have this attitude, it comes from someone that knows that this is how things are, so yeah, this is for him. But he's going to, whatever he's putting his energy into is going to be successful. He's defending himself from something. I don't know what, but it seems like, the emotional support, he does have it. The people that love him, he does have it. But with the source, there could be like I don't know, people waiting for some news, an outcome, an official statement. I don't know. Okay. Oh, okay, for this actor, I believe, Naohito Fujiki. Na Naohito Fujiki. Naohito Fujiki. Naohito Fujiki. Naohito Fujiki. His energy, I feel it a bit more like emotional. Like probably he's all over the place with emotions. But he's okay. It's just that I feel when I say his name, I feel a bit like maybe he's very intuitive himself or he's very sensitive himself. This is why he feels so watery all of a sudden. I'm a bit overwhelmed, but in a good way, not a positive, not a negative way. Okay, for this actor, for there's something about his name that is like Naohito Fuji. Okay. Three of Wands for him, the Hangman. We have the Temperance in the middle, Ace of Cups, and the High Priestess. And then from the other decks, I have the card of the Nine of Pentacles. This is Gratitude. And the Eight of Wands. The phrase of this Eight of Wands, it says, if you don't move, words are meaningless. Like words can be taken away, very easily. So if there's no action, he has to move. He has to move, not just promising or just talking about something. He has to move in order to get what he wants. I think that he's a dreamer. Definitely, there's something about, I don't know, he is manifesting a sort of role, a sort of, advancing his career, because from, the recent energy of his, I have the Three of Wands and the Hangman. So I'm like, what happened? Maybe he had like, a project that he was very passionate about, or there were like, he was very excited for this, but I think that it's more like advancing to new things, and somehow he had to wait, or he was put on pause. He was put on a pause, or he has to wait, or he has to be, observe, maybe review certain things about this new project. It's like there's a sudden stop and a period of waiting for him. In the middle, he has the Temperance. So I think that somehow, maybe he was very active in recent years. He was very active, or he had, a very clear vision of where his career was going. But I think that with this Hangman, there's something in his reality that somehow stopped. Like it changed directions, it changed like the purpose, it changed the way he has been doing things. So somehow all of this it comes with a very strong energetic energy that somehow is expecting of him to be the bigger person, and somehow it's like, just let it happen. If you have to wait, just go with the flow, accept whatever is going on in your life, in your career, whatever is going on, is for the best of you. It is going to be beneficial in the future. It's just that now he doesn't see it because there's a lot of stagnation here. I think that he's okay. He's like, I don't know if he's meditating or he's connecting with his emotional side, or if he's working on his sensitivity, if he's working on his artistic side, because with the Ace of Cups, I think that he's somehow finding inspiration in this process of waiting, or in this process where he feels, or maybe in the past he felt a bit, hopeless, helpless. There's something about him being tied up and not being able to move, or not being able to do something. And the cards are advising him in the next months to not do anything in particular. It's more like, reflect on this that is going on. Take this as a way to connect with your inner self, to connect with you, to connect with your feelings, to maybe heal some past wounds of his, or some past issues that he had. I think that the cards are like, focus on yourself and heal whatever you have to heal, because the cards feel very emotional. And also the less tarot card from this part is the High Priestess. So somehow, again, it's calling him to also be silent, just observe, just listen, observe whatever is going on around you. Don't judge. but be open to receive, because we have the Ace of Cups. So whatever is happening in his life, it has like a hidden message. It has a purpose. It's like somehow the cards are like, this is the way of life. This is the way your life is going to flow from now on. So be ready. Be ready. Don't fight it. Just take it easy. Be patient with yourself. But this also can open new doors or possibilities that maybe he hasn't been able to see or appreciate, because he comes from the Three of Wands. So somehow maybe in the past he was very active, or there's something about his activities maybe being, very active, and he maybe, being very busy. So why do I feel like he reminds me a bit of what we went through as community, as the masses, as society, when the pandemic happened, that we had to stop. It wasn't about what we wanted. It was more like, everything is shutting down. You just have to stay inside. Somehow like this, the cards are like, you better stay inside. You stay with yourself. Like, don't go pursuing something, even though I don't see him. Like, I think that he understands perfectly these times. And they feel very spiritual. They feel very, very private. Very, like, I think that is more like, maybe this is his character. He actually is getting more in touch with that is his real nature. That is maybe to rest more, to focus more on himself, just slow down his energy, and also, to connect with his sensitivity. He's a very artistic person, so I can kind of see that he could create something of his own. But I think that with the High Priestess, it's like, whatever you're creating, don't think about sharing it with others. Not yet. Keep it a secret. Keep it a secret, because maybe it's like a new skill, something that people don't know about him. Is he a singer as well? Does he write songs or poems? Because it feels artistic. But it's like, don't show it yet. Just accumulate whatever comes your way, accumulate it, but don't share it with others. And we have the nine of pentacles, gratitude as well. The keyboard is so beautiful, because the Nine of Pentacles is also like a gratitude, and it's appreciation of everything that he had been, maybe accumulating through the years. Maybe he has been, very lucky. He has been very successful. He had made it in a lot of aspects. So maybe now he feels a bit sorry for himself, but somehow and also maybe a bit lonely, because I do feel a bit of isolation. Um, but the Nine of Pentacles is like, you know, you on your own are very talented. Like, you don't need others to fulfill you or to tell you that you're great. Actually, maybe individually he can do so much more. But yeah, with the Eight of Wands, there could be, a new option for him to get out of this isolation. There could be news coming his way. So somehow the cards are like, you could, if you pay attention, if you're open to receive this, you could get like, an information. You could get something that can help you, to keep creating this that you want. Or if he wants a change, maybe he's bored. He's like, I'm so done with meditation and just focusing on myself. Like, I want something else. And news can come his way. It's just that he has to be ready to catch it when it happens. And just do something about it when it happens. He has to get very proactive, otherwise he's going to miss the opportunity. Okay. I'm going to continue with Natsuki Deguchi. Natsuki Deguchi. Natsuki Deguchi. I believe this is a woman, right? Natsuki Deguchi. It feels like a female energy. But somehow the cards are very masculine. I don't know what is it. Yeah, maybe she's very busy. Okay, for this actress Natsuki Deguchi, we have the Magician, we have the Justice. Sorry, guys. We have the Emperor in the middle, the Five of Wands, and we have the Wheel of Fortune. And then we have the Nine of Swords that it says despair, and the Two of Wands that it says where you put your energy into, you project your energy. So yeah, there's a lot of energy for this woman. I don't know if she's working on something, but it feels very powerful. It feels even a bit aggressive. I wonder if she's like working on some kind of action movie, action project, but it feels very like powerful, and there's a lot of like action, there's a lot of competitiveness as well, like it feels busy. uh but I think that she's able to master this. I think that she has like a duality that is very interesting, that she's definitely showing me that she's in control. It's just that maybe she has like a lot of things to do, and there's a lot of competition around her. I wonder if she is like a kind of person that she is compared to another actresses, or people fight for her online, or if there's like some kind of competition between her and another person, because I see her like she cannot show her vulnerability. She cannot show her weaknesses. I would say, having here the emperor in the middle, it feels like very like she's definitely wearing like an armor. She's like protecting herself. She's also asserting her dominion, speaking loudly, or being presented as this very strong person. This very strong attitude, I would say, of like, I'm going to rule you all. Maybe she's playing like some kind of a royal or something like this, but it feels like maybe at this point in her life she's actually like putting all her energy to these projects, and for her this is huge. I can see that for her, also getting the possibilities, getting the getting the right opportunity, getting things for her. It's all about being assertive. It's all about like being smart. You have to be very smart. You have to be very like pendant on what is new, what are people saying, um what is trending. I don't know, but I see her very like more like on the sweet and soft side. I see her more like in her masculine energy. Somehow like she cannot slow down this year. She wants a break. But I don't see that break for her yet. I think that she also has to defend herself a lot. And maybe the project also, if she's working actively on a project, maybe the project also she needs to protect the project because it has her name on this. So it feels very important. It feels, like she has to remain with this attitude. She has to have this structure, this position of her, this body language of like, I own this, I'm the master of this, I have experience, I'm unique. She has to, she cannot slow down. She cannot be like, oh, well, today I'm going to show that I have weaknesses. No, no. She has to keep showing, this attitude of like, it seems like she's like in a battlefield, literally, because I have the emperor here in the middle. So the emperor is like looking at me like, this is her. This is her energy. This is how much she had built maybe for herself. And she's not afraid to defend this, because there's a lot of competition. Or maybe there's going to come like a season where things are going to get very competitive, and she's getting ready for this. She's getting ready for this. But definitely, I think that, we start with this also very powerful major arcanas, the magician and the justice. So I think that she's a very smart person. She knows what this is about. She knows that she has to be very intelligent, that she has to be very adaptable also, that she has to seduce the audience. She has to seduce her co-stars, her co-workers. She is adaptable. She adapts. But somehow, whatever she's doing at the moment, she's like, I cannot show weaknesses. I have to be very assertive. I have to be a bit masculine. I have to be on charge. People cannot walk all over me. Like, I cannot show that. I cannot relax. And we have the Nine of Swords that it says despair. So maybe she does have a few fears, or she does feel like somehow things not always, appear, or show for her, like in a favorable way. Maybe she has to fight literally for her options. And this year is this feeling. I think that she's doing great, but nevertheless, the competitiveness, or if she's getting compared to someone else, is going to be there. It's always going to be there. It's like going to somehow disappear, but then come back, because I don't know what kind of work she does. um, but I think that it's very competitive. It's like the tension is very felt. I would say that no one here are her friends. So I wonder, because the good thing about her is that you cannot stop her. She's going to move on to the next project. She puts her energy in, not, thinking like, oh my god, I'm offended that this person doesn't like me, or I'm offended, or I feel sad because this person doesn't approve of what I do. I think that she's getting very smart, she's getting with the flow of this masculine energy, of like not slowing down. This year is not for the weak. So I wonder what she's up to. Where is she? Where is she? Where is she into? Where is she immersed, into? Because it feels like, unless this person is a man, but I think she's a woman, Natsuki Deguchi. I think she's a woman. But, this year is a year of like, she has to go full force. She cannot be defeated. She cannot be defeated. No. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I'm sorry. I wanted to fix. Oh, yeah. My God. Sorry. I wanted to fix the. Sorry. Oh, my. Hello, I was. I wanted to fix the. Oh, my. And I dropped it. Sorry. Just that I want you to see more like this part. I'm still struggling with finding. I'm still finding like the place. I'm not very comfortable. I'm trying to get everything ready, but I'm moving and I'm changing things because I'm like, I don't like this. I want to change this. I want this to be better. So yeah, it feels chaotic. But maybe it's the times also. People have been feeling a bit weird. People have been feeling like a bit like, all over the place. So yeah, maybe it's Mercury retrograde again. Um, but yeah, let's go with the flow of whatever appears. Okay, I'm going to continue with Mackenyu Arata. Mackenyu Arata. Let's see. Mackenyu Arata. Definitely, from what I see from so far, what I've been reading for some Japanese actors and actresses, I see a lot of competitiveness, a lot of like action, a lot of like opposition, like these people. I don't think that it has to do with the labor, physical labor, but there's a lot of competitiveness in the Japanese, I believe. This is what I'm feeling energetically so far. It feels like you have to be like a warrior in that industry. Otherwise, you will not get the roles. You will not get. There's always going to be someone that wants to steal your spot. So, and could it be that there's also a lot of idols that, not idols, sorry. I read for idols, and this is why I'm used to saying idols. But could it be that there's a lot of actors and actresses that look alike? They do the same roles. So people like compare them and confuse them. If you don't know much about them, you can probably confuse them with another person. It feels like this. It feels like, you have to assert yourself. Otherwise, someone is going to steal your work, or they're going to steal that opportunity that you want. It feels like heavy. Like you have to be pleasant and you have to be beautiful and attractive, but you also have to be like, you cannot let others, take your place somehow. Okay, for Mackenyu, is it Mackenshu, or maybe I'm pronouncing it incorrectly like I always do. Is this Mackenshu or Mackenyu? Mackenyu Arata. Okay. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. Ace of Pentacles for him, the Fool, the Empress in the middle, Five of Wands again, and Three of Wands. We have the Devil, that it says greed, and the Page of Swords, that it says just concentrate on resolving one thing at a time. Having the Empress in the middle, definitely, this man is very attractive. Besides him being talented, there's something about him being very attractive, him being very successful, him being very popular. And I think that, when you have the Empress, it's like nothing can go wrong. Even if people go against you, just your face or your physical appearance or how you look or how you dress takes him places. He is a very successful person. Also, he takes risk, because we start with the Ace of Pentacles and the Fool. So he's someone that he knows how to take risks. He always goes um, against of what is expected of him. He probably takes very bold moves, or he takes roles that are very different from the other or the previous ones. So he is like a box full of surprise. But I think that he's always successful. Whatever he decides to do, people follow him. So he's a very successful person, or he's just very popular, or he's an ace. It's not about what he does, it's more than people just want to see him. With the Empress, it's like, I just want to see you. Like, could it be like eye candy? Like, I just want to look at you. I don't care what role you're into. I just want to see you because you're beautiful. And he plays with this. He is a very Venusian person. He's very much in touch with his feminine side. He takes really good care of himself. He probably is very, even though he can have roles that are very physical, because in here I do see it, I do see some fighting scenes maybe, or some, physical training or something like this. But, he is very Venusian, or he's beautiful, and he appeals to people. Whatever he does, people just love him so much. And this year is a year of a lot of expansion, a lot of growing for him. Could it be pregnancy as well? Does he have children? Because I can sort of see him also being very fertile, being very, very much into family, and he can do it all. He can be a family man, he can have his family, and he can be, also, someone on the screen that you're like, there's no way this person is in a relationship. Because if he plays the role of, I don't know, a bachelor, or someone that is like a forever, bachelor, people are going to buy it. And also, if he plays the role of a playboy, he's going to do it amazing, and people just want him. They don't care his personal history. This is something that this is why he's like, he has somehow a space, and he has the resources also. He probably is he rich? Is he rich that he has money? Because there's something about it's like, whatever I want to do, it falls on my laps. But this is why he somehow wants to twist, certain things, or opportunities for him, somehow being like, um, um, if people expect me to go this way, or to pick this very basic role, I want to do something different, or I want to give it another twist, or I want to do it. I'm going to take it, but I'm going to give it my personal style. He's very unexpected in this, but I think that is because he believes a lot in himself. This is why I'm like, I think that he was somehow like raised, or he was brought up in an environment where he always had the freedom to achieve whatever he wanted to achieve. This is why with the Empress, he probably also has like a lot of self-esteem. He believes in himself, he believes in his projects, he believes in the people that he loves, he believes in his fans. He is truly a believer. It's just that maybe, there's something about him being so beautiful and so wanted that actually people don't pay attention to what he does. It's more like, let's talk about his appearance, or let's talk about, how amazing he looks, like very superficial. But he also plays with that. He's seducing. He seduces also. But yeah, in the future, again, see a bit of competitiveness. Again, maybe, there's another actors that they want his roles, or there's another actors that aspire to be him, or to be like him. but there's no way they can be like him. At the end, he's always going to be choose. He's always going to be the chosen one. He's always going to be like, even if people, because I see people somehow put in opposition to him being there. Somehow maybe people are talking, maybe people are saying things, maybe people are like, oh, it's always him. Why always him? Somehow wanting to ruin his possibilities to do more or to get more roles. And at the end, he does get it. He does get it because he's just like, he trusts himself. And probably the audience wants to see him. So I don't think that it's just him, being too cocky or being too into himself. I think that honestly, like, the reaction or the feedback of the audience is that they want him to. With the devil, greed, in the Page of Swords, see, just concentrate on resolving one thing at once. I think that there's something, and here I do see it, that maybe he's going to participate in a very, or he's already working on something that, is like the project that he has now and that is going to impact in the next months, like promotions and things like this. But then he's going to also grab another project. So somehow, people are going to start talking, with the devil and the page. I can see people being like, aren't you being a bit too greedy? Like, you want to be everywhere. Like, you just finished this. You have to do maybe some promotions, or he has to, keep promoting this that is not over yet. But you already are on something else. You already are moving on to a new project. So somehow you are like trying to, take everything, take these two projects, get the best of these two projects, maybe being seen or being talked about, and maybe people of the industry and maybe some fans or some part of the audience is like, aren't you being a bit too greedy? You're trying to get your hands on everything, and people are getting annoyed. I think that there's something about maybe men in the fandom, if he has a fandom, maybe men that are like also, maybe watching what he does, but they don't care about him. Because since he's so Venusian, I think that there's something about men not liking him, even though he's he's a very fit person, or he's just very active. Maybe his roles are very, are active, but I think that men don't like him. And there's something about people complaining. Like, you want to be everywhere. You want to be talked about so bad that you take a lot of projects, but you are being messy. Maybe the way he's arranging certain, certain promotions, people are like, you want to grab, you want to be paid for this and you want to be paid for the other thing, but you never finish the project properly. So people are seeing him like a bit greedy. Like, you just finished this one and you're already promoting this one. It's like, it seems like you want to grab the attention, the money, I don't know. I think that people are like, just slow down, pick your projects well, finish them, properly, and then you can go and move on. People are like, you're taking too much. We are seeing you everywhere, and your content maybe is not of value. People see it very rushed. Like, maybe he does, create some content or promotion. People are like, it seems like he's on the run. He's on the rush to finish things because he wants to do the other thing. So it feels very confusing. People are a bit against him. Yes. And honestly, I think that the cards also say, like, you have to pick a project at a time. Don't don't do don't do everything, because it's not looking good. It's not looking good. People are going to start complaining, especially men, like men online. Men don't like him. Men don't like him. There's something personal that they have with him. Okay, guys. I'm going to continue with Ashaka Miyoshi. Ashaka Miyoshi. Ashaka Miyoshi. Mm. Who is this man? Who is this man that I see here? It could be a co-star, but I'm like, is she in a relationship? There's something about, I don't know if people, there's something about, like, for me, I'm like, maybe she's very beautiful and people are more like obsessed with who she's dating more than what she's up to, more than, what she's working on. Okay. Okay. We start for her, the moon. We have the Seven of Swords. We have the Eight of Wands. We have the King of Cups. And we have the Page of Cups. A lot of love. A lot of love. It's impossible to miss this. The Judgment, it says awakening. And we have, the Four of Wands in this Oracle of the Rider. And it says, enjoy every moment. The stability is just, is stability lasts for a few moments. It's like a tiny moment in your existence. So enjoy it while it lasts. Could it be that she's very judged also for her roles? Like people are like judging her? Because I think that I mean, I think that she's an actress, but somehow could it be that people don't really know about her? Like they know about her maybe previous work, but there's something about her also being a bit confused about her maybe acting career. With the Seven of Swords, the Moon card, it feels like maybe she tried different projects and they didn't work out, or the outcome is not that positive, or people are not very sure. They do recognize her face. I think that there's something about her image being very powerful. But when it comes to acting, maybe she gets lost in the roles and people are like, yeah, I think that I seen you in there. But maybe it's not like, elite, like she's not like the leading actress, or she's not like the female lead, or she's not the protagonist. It feels like still she doesn't have the protagonist role. And it feels like lately she has been very confused about what path to take. I think that probably the last 2 years or the last year and until a few months ago, they had been very confusing for her about like, where do I move on from here? What do I do next? I think that she's somehow like trying to find answers, trying to find, new ways to keep, presenting herself. There's something about her being like, what if I change this? What if I do this? What if I do this differently? But somehow, things are very confused about her acting career. Or they just make her feel very depressed. I don't know why, but it's like, I don't even understand, what is the protocol in here. Somehow they tell me that I'm going to be here, and then they tell me, no, you're not going to be part of this, but then you're coming back. Then I have news that I think that she maybe felt a bit lost. A year and 2 years ago, she went through a kind of a period where she was like, okay, what is my place in the industry? because I keep moving, I keep doing things, but she hasn't found like the role that you're like, okay, this is her show, or this is her character, and it's like amazing. I think that she goes through roles or appearances, and it's all very brief. Um, Maybe also people are confused about her; they don't know much about her, and I think that this is something that I've noticed, reading so far for this Japanese artist, that somehow things happen very fast in that industry. So if you don't move fast, or if you don't make like, a smart move, um, people tend to forget about you, or people tend to put you in a sort of like, they throw you in a bag full of other people, like they confuse people. This is what I'm getting. I'm like, if you're fans of Japanese actors and actresses, please let me know if this happens or not. But I feel like they throw them into a corner of people that look like someone else, or are very similar to another person that is much more successful, but they are not that person. So it's like, they, instead of calling your name, they are like, oh, you are this person's lookalike, or you are like this person's second, like this person's twin. Like it feels very like this. So they have to be very smart about like, what do I do next? But yeah, the Eight of Wands is news, is good news coming her way. So probably, there's like an opportunity of her career finally, again lifting, like the right project, the right, contract, the right scenes for her to show off a bit more. I think that this woman needs to be shown a bit more, but probably the characters that she gets is very fast paced. Like, she appears and is amazing while she is on the screen, but then she disappears. Like, people like choose, like, I don't know if they take her out of certain scenes and they then bring her back, but all is like, take the opportunity that you can while you can, because it feels like this. It feels rushed. It feels like it has to be now or never. So I can sort of see her grabbing it. But I think that in the past, maybe she was a bit sad about this. She was like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? I want to be remembered. Like, I want to be, a protagonist. And somehow I feel like, there's not much in here. She just has to take whatever she can. But yeah, in the future, again, if she works with someone, or she goes back, to work with a team of people, she's going to feel very loved, very welcome, very appreciated. Maybe the fans also loving it. She's very loved. But I think that is the love is coming back once she comes back, or once she does this project, or once she goes back to her usual genre or her usual style. But it's like, it feels like her career is about to wake up again. It's because it was depressing a couple of months ago. It was depressing, confusing. She didn't know, like, what do I do? How do I move on from here? Because probably she also was waiting for a resolution, so she couldn't move that much. It's not someone that she can make like very bold moves in her career, because somehow maybe she has like a contract with someone, so she has to stay passive and wait. But it was so confusing, because maybe they were like, yeah, we will do it. No, no, we will not do this. So yeah. But the King of Cups and the Page. Sorry, I want to see if I can get it, outside the light. Um, could it be that this project that is going to be on, there's like, a lot of chemistry with someone, or there's some pictures taken of her and another co-star, and people been like speculating like there could be a relationship, that there could be a relationship. She is, you know, she's going to be seen with someone um, popular, with someone special. She's going to be seen, with someone, maybe an actor that is also like, is more like, is seen as this romantic person, or maybe is like a lover. But I can think that more than, people being like interested in what she does, is more like who she's dating. Or maybe people are shipping her with someone and they are going crazy. They are going to talk about this. They're more interested in this. If this is not an actor, this is like someone very popular. Someone very popular. Someone that is very obvious. That maybe this person is like, she is my type. And this is when the rumors start. This man said that she is his type. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to add a bit of, interesting, something happy going on, something emotional, something cute, maybe a bit of flirting. It's nice. People love this. We love this dating news or these dating rumors. It brings like a very nice vibe. And definitely she deserves love because she's very beautiful. But yeah, judgment, awakening. So yeah, a bit of judgment. Maybe people not being sure about the way she acts or the project that she chooses. People also are not very sure of her. They love her, but it's like a very brief moment. And the Four of Wands also is like, you're going to have moments of happiness and celebration. And she been, part of a lot of, celebrations and just a lot of happy vibes, but just make the most of it because it's not going to last that long. Of course, that happiness are brief instances, but somehow it's like, okay, if you're pursuing like a kind of everlasting sense of accomplishment and success, it's all very brief. It's all very brief. At least for her, it's all very brief. Hey, Chachalino. But there's someone new, Chachalino, coming for her. Is someone new and very popular and very like a lover boy, like someone that people are like, oh, he's so romantic. I don't see her being romantic, honestly. I see her being a bit cold, but he is the romantic one. He is the cheesy one in comparison to her energy. But he's very obvious. He's very obvious. He's her age. He's not younger, but he can get a bit immature when he likes someone. Okay. I'm going to continue with Minami Hamabe. Minami Hamabe. Okay, Minami Hamabe. Another one that is giving me rich. Does she have a legacy? Does she have like a business or something besides being an actress? Because it's like legacy full on mode. But she did work very hard to get this stability that she has now. There's a bit of, advances and also like her going back or her losing and then winning again. I think that also, could it be that this woman is also judged? Because I don't have the judgment card, but I do see opposition to maybe people talking about her appearance, which why, but well. Okay, we have for Minami Hamabe, we have the Tower, Knight of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles in the middle. We have the 7 of Wands, and we have the Empress. Then we have the sun card that says good fortune. So she's very lucky. And then the Seven of Swords. It says the phrasing here is in Spanish. I'm trying to translating it this in English as faithful as I can. It says the clever one or the clever person, um, you know, behaves or they act in the wrong way. Their actions are wrong or are to wrong others. But the intelligent person knows how to act. So there's a difference between being clever and between being, intelligent. So somehow the Seven of Swords is reflecting this, like you have to know, that it's not about being clever. You have to be intelligent. You have to be, you have to think very well, this that you're doing, or, it's like, it's better to not want to look or sound clever and responding back. It's more like be more intelligent and maybe remain silent or just, disappear or evade certain questions if they make you feel uncomfortable. So see, for her, I think that she's actually, maybe this year, maybe this is the energy of this year. She's a very lucky person, I would say. She's also very hardworking. I see a lot of pentacles. So for her, it's not like, I'm just sitting here and I'm receiving all the, the good things in life. No, she comes from, a tower moment, where maybe she had to rebuild herself, rebuild her career. It feels very, a bit tragic, or it feels very serious, whatever she went through. And she had to start over. There's something about her changing the way or where she was going to, where she was moving towards, her future projects. I see her very hardworking. I think that maybe her career is her life. She's also very traditional. There's something with the Ten of Pentacles in here that she's like, I'm working towards excellence. I'm working towards, results that sustain themselves, because maybe she's part of a community or she's part of a group of actors that maybe they had been doing this for a very long time. So there's something about her being like, I want to contribute to this. It's not so much like, oh, I'm beautiful and just look at me and I'm going to appear in all the magazines. It's more like, I'm building an empire for myself and others. But I think that she had to change the way she was doing things, and it maybe took her a long time. Maybe now this year or in the next months, she's going to finally see a growth, or she's going to finally see an outcome that is going to be positive. Because I think that she went through something. I don't know what, but she went through something. And the Seven of Wands and the Empress, see, there's a bit of resistance to, I don't know if it's the audience or if it's her, that she doesn't want to be just another pretty face. There's something about her being like, yeah, I know you guys maybe want me to go back to these kind of roles where I'm beautiful or where I'm wanted or where I look amazing or I'm, maybe like sex symbol or something like this. And she's like, I'm a bit against this. I'm much more than a pretty face. I'm a very hardworking person. My work speaks for myself. And she's very rational in this sense. She doesn't believe that, oh, looks can get you anywhere. She could relax. She could get just a simple role where she looks pretty and that's it. But she's a bit against this. She's like, no, this could ruin my whole everything that I had been working so hard for, sustaining. So the sun, good fortune, and also the Seven of Swords. I think that whatever she's going to do is going to be successful. It's going to be, nice. But also I think that she has to, there's something about her wanting to avoid certain situations. She doesn't want to be compared. I wonder, I don't see communication in here, so I don't think that she's going to say something to people or maybe make a comment where she can differentiate herself from others. But there's something about this spread that is like, my value is bigger than others. I'm much more than this. I'm much more than this. Yeah, I take care of my appearance. Yeah, I make sure that I look good, but I do this because of the roles, because I have to look good, because it's part of, it's part of what I do. But I think that for her, it's like, I don't want stupid roles, or I don't want you guys to think that I'm stupid. She's very intelligent. It's just that there's something going on, maybe in her career, that she has to be very strategic about what she's going to do next. Because and when I said, I said something about judgment, if people judge her or criticize her, I think that it's more like she criticizes herself more than she has high standards for herself. I think that things are looking good for her with the 10 of Pentacles in here. I think that she's very secure. She's very secure. She has like a good fortune, but I don't know. I don't know. I think that there's something that she's like being calculative about. There's something about her being, trying to not show everything of herself. Very intelligent. Very intelligent. Oh, okay. I'm going to continue with Kento Yamazaki. Kento Yamazaki. This name I do remember. I do remember him because I watched like Alice in Borderland. So Borderland. Not I like that series. I do remember him. I read for him, I think. Okay, for Kento, let's see. We start with the star. As I was shuffling before I pulled the cards, a card jumped out, and it was the star card. So I was like, I'm about to read for a star. Actually, it's not to diminish the others actors in here and actresses that are successful. But I think that when it comes to him, the cards are like he's a star. Six of Cups. Or he was a star. I don't know. There's something about the Six of Cups. Like, could it be that he was? Knight of Wands in the middle. We have the Judgment, and we have the Sun card. We have the Ten of Swords. That is says agony. And we have the Queen of Pentacles. That it says sometimes we don't know. I'm going to show you the card. It says sometimes we don't know how to appreciate what we have in front of us, for example, when we look at ourselves in the mirror, you know, this is about, the material aspect, and but this is about, you valuing yourself, about your self value. Like, do you look at yourself in the mirror? Do you look at, the body, the flesh, the presence, like who you are? Do you look at yourself? Do you appreciate that you are alive, that you are okay, who you are? What the mirror is sort of like, reflecting back. Do you look at yourself? Do you see how valuable you are in reality, in presence, in flesh and bones? I think that the Queen of Pentacles is this message is like, you have to value, what you are made of, when it comes to, material, the material, the physical aspect. Maybe he's someone that his head is always in the clouds, or he's always in a rush. I think that he's a very nervous person, and he tends to freak out for the tiniest things. He maybe overthinks a lot. He tends to, because I have the 10 of swords in here, it says agony. So sometimes it feels like, he gets triggered, or he gets, a panic mode very easily. And the Queen of Pentacles is like, go back to yourself, go back to your sensation, go back to the now. You are here. This is your body. This is your composition. This is what you look like. This is what you are. This is your territory. You have control over this. Don't let this control this. So yeah, I think that there's something about him not valuing himself or his body. I think that it has to do with health issues. He gets very worried about his mind or his ability to remember things, but he doesn't take care of his physical body. He doesn't take care of his, the body is like the foundation. The body is like the armor. The body is like, what is protecting you. And I think that his body has given him has given him so much. But somehow I think that he doesn't care about his body. He doesn't look at himself in the mirror. Maybe he doesn't take care of his appearance. There's something about him, maybe lately, sort of forgetting about himself, about his appearance, or about, the good things, the good qualities about his body. And he more focuses on like, what is wrong with me? Like, oh my God, like I feel sick, or I think that I'm going to be sick, or like, oh my God, no, I have this mark on my skin. I don't like it. Like, and him probably not taking care of his body, of his own health, like somehow, taking it for granted, where actually his body and his face is what got him where he is now. So he doesn't look at himself in the mirror. I think that he doesn't like his reflection that much. It's very interesting. Um, we have, oh yeah, like I said, the star and the Six of Cups. I think that there's something about him feeling like maybe his best time or his prime time was in the past, or was in the recent past. There's something about him being like, yeah, I was a star. I was a star, or I had it all back then. He doesn't see himself like a star now. He's a bit worn out, maybe mentally, physically. He's like, he wants to maybe be over with a period in his life. There's something about him maybe wanting to, I want to finish this, like, can we move on? Because the stardom or the happy times, or, where I really felt validated was in the past. Now he's not feeling that successful, I would say. The Knight of Wands, in the present, I think that there's something about him being a bit erratic, him being also, a bit energetic, but not in a very like, maybe he's working a lot with his body, he's doing a lot of, action scenes, but I think that energetically there's something about maybe him going out more. him, going to bars, or him meeting people, and him just, I feel him very sexual as well, like him like looking for opportunities, to see people or to hang out with people of the opposite sex. I think that if there's rumors about him going somewhere and being seen with certain people, don't be shocked, because I think that he's sort of experimenting. He wants to go out. All of a sudden, he wants to go out, or he wants to, do very risky things, do very risky mode. I think that he's trying to cover something. Maybe he's trying to cover that actually he feels very sad, or he has been feeling sad, but he's like, I'm not stopping, not now. I have a lot of things to do. People want me to be here, people want me to be there. I'm wanted everywhere, and I also have a lot of, stamina, desire. I'm young, so yeah, I just want to go out and have fun. But he can be a bit, impulsive, a bit reckless. I would watch out. I would watch out for what he does, because it feels like he cannot control himself. He actually wants to be out of control, to have any kind of experience that allows him to get out of his body. This is why I'm like, he's not taking care of his body. But in the future, we have the Judgment and the Sun. So I think that probably he's sort of playing, like, I think him like a daredevil. He's sort of trying to play with danger a bit, maybe also being a bit scandalous. Could it be? We'll see. But there's something about him just acting a bit crazy maybe this year. But and the Judgment is like, yeah, you're going to reap what you sow. Actually, there's going to be consequences. People are going to judge you, or people are going to talk bad about you. But we have the Sun card at the end. So I think that he wants a bit of tough love from the audience. It's like, judge me. I'm ready. Judge me. Tell me that you didn't like it. Tell me that you didn't like this that I did. Tell me that you think that I suck at acting, that you didn't like my character. Just tell me. Just tell me. But I think that on the contrary, with the Sun card, I think that for him, it's going to be like a wake-up call. I think that he wants people to somehow, yeah, give him tough love. It's like, just tell me whatever you want to say, bring it. And him somehow finding it liberating, that people see him like someone that has flaws, or someone that is not perfect, and someone that can mess up, and someone that is human. Actually at the end, I can see him, actually being praised, having, yes, people judging him initially, but then at the end, somehow like embracing everything that he has been doing, and actually him being finally able to find a bit of joy in what he has been doing. Him being like, actually, like, I was so worried. I was so restless about certain things. And actually, the reality is that the experience was really nice. But I think that he wants to put an end to certain things. Maybe he wants to do some other roles, or maybe he just wants to, I think that he wants to do something different, but at the same time, he doesn't know what to do, because it's very interesting, because he's someone that his image, or maybe his face, it matters a lot to people. Maybe he has fans, he has, the audience love, they want to see him. But he has to come back, like, somehow, like in a more bright version, like in a more positive version. Like, somehow people maybe being like, we are tired of seeing you like your character is always a mess, or you don't take care of your appearance, or you always seem depressed in your characters, or you always seem depressed when people see you, when the press find you, you always look like a mess. Like, could it be that, like, he looks like a homeless person? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But there's something about appearance. Like, people are like, can you take better care of yourself? Can you smile more? you used to be like a very cheerful person. What happened to you? And I think that he wants the audience to give him this tough feedback. Yeah, tell me what you want me to change, because I know, but I cannot do it on my own. So yeah, with Agony, the queen, also probably, with the Queen of Pentacles in here, I'm like, he needs a lover or a partner that can bring him, stability. Someone that is maybe an earth sign like he is, but someone more mature and stable, and someone very practical, because I think that he's someone that maybe on his own he cannot take care of himself. He's like a child, so he needs someone to give order to his life, because and somehow tell him what to do, and build routines for him, like a sort of manager slash lover, something like this. Yes. Maybe he was stuck in this industry for so long, he's going a bit crazy. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that he's lost, but he's like, maybe he hasn't been feeling the joy of what he has been doing lately. And he wants to act reckless to somehow bring some change, something unexpected, because maybe he's tied to a contract or something that he cannot go fully like, I'm going to start over and do something different. No, he cannot, not yet. But at the same time, he's probably like not that inspired. Like when you're like, I want to change, but what kind of change do you want? Think about it. What do you want? What do you want to do? It's like, think about it. Think. But yeah, more like he needs to take better care of himself and his appearance. I'm sorry, but he needs to. He needs to. Okay. I'm going to continue with Nijiro Murakami. Nijiro Murakami. Nijiro Murakami. Nijiro Murakami. Oh, okay. He got six cards, okay. He has a lot to say. He's a manifestor, yes. There's something very magical about him. I'm like, yeah, he's very magical. But he's like, with the kind of manifestation, I'm like, he goes through very interesting processes. He's not very stable, I would say, because I see that, yeah, in work, he probably in work or having a schedule, he at the end he pulls it off, but maybe his personal life, he is a bit messy. He is a bit confusing, like he doesn't have a structure, or he goes through, I don't want to say like the guy is depressed, because I don't see sad cards, but somehow he needs to experience like a breakthrough, or something has to happen, something has to break, something has to end, something tragic and abrupt has to happen in his life in order for him to do something else. It feels like very like just a lot. There's a lot. He probably has different sides of himself. There's something about him having different parts of himself. So he's like, it feels like he's a lot. He can be anything. He is an artist, definitely, but he can also be a sad boy. So, so If he has characters like he's a sad person, he's totally, he can nail it because his energy feels like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I'm not poor, but I have the I have the attitude of someone that is broke. So someone that is like a hippie or like a mad scientist, something like this. It feels like very, very awkward. It feels like very like he can be anything. But maybe it's because him being an artist. The wall card, the Five of Pentacles, the Tower in the middle, the Six of Swords, the Page of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles. This is the card that came extra for him, and the Ace of Pentacles that it says manifestation. And then we have the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords, it says, not even your worst enemies can cause so much damage than your own mind when it's unbalanced. And this is true because this talks about when you room, when you are rooming a lot, when you are overthinking a lot, like you can become your own, worst enemy. Like you are just like, punishing yourself, maybe thinking about the past, thinking about the things that you didn't do, or that you did do but you didn't like it. So he goes through those times, he's that extremist. But I think that honestly, the cards that show me the past or where he comes from is somehow is very similar to the other actress, to Miyoshi, to Ayaka Miyoshi. It's very similar. Like from the maybe the past years, there's something about him feeling like, maybe he was supposed to move on to another project, or he was supposed to be, focused on other things. But I think that the results weren't that positive. It seems like, losses of opportunities, or him feeling like he didn't get maybe the recognition that he was expecting. So I think that the past experiences, before, previous to where we are now, he wasn't very happy. Also, there's something about him being like, wow, like it feels like time stopped for me and I ran out of luck. Because even if he had, the possibility to work on another things, the result wasn't really good. And here with the tower, finally, something is changing in his life, or in his everyday life, something broke, something, something abruptly ended, that it seems like his bad luck went away, with the tower. It's like the bad times or the sad times are over. You are about to experience some movement in your career or in your life in general, because he was stuck. I don't know if he was, working on something else or if he was busy, but it seems like, if he moved on to another projects, the outcome, or he wasn't just feeling comfortable, maybe he was working on different projects and they just didn't make him feel wanted. There's something about him putting maybe his best to do the things right, but it felt like lack of resources, like, like people not communicating very well, maybe him also feeling like he doesn't have friends in the industry, or there's something about him just not getting along with certain people, and he tends to go inwards, when where he feels like the vibes are off, he tends to go inward and just isolate himself on purpose. But the tower is like, the depressing moments that you experienced maybe a year ago or 2 years ago are finally going to end, and you're not going to be sad anymore, for a while, because there's movement. See, the Seven of Swords, the Page of Cups, and the Knight of Pentacles. So there's movement. There's a new project. There's a new beginning. There's a lot of, maybe movement to another location, a lot of traveling, a lot of movement. But for him, this is like a love letter. I don't know if maybe it's because the fans are so supportive of him finally getting this project, that people are, he's going to do his best. He's going to do his best. He's like, okay, okay, I guess you guys want to see me. So yeah, I'm moving. I'm getting out of my sad vibes, and I'm finally getting out of my house, and I'm going to do this because probably he loves these projects. He loves his project very much. There's an emotional attachment of his. But he's emotional, but he's not a guy that he's like, oh wow, he's so sensitive, or he's so sentimental, or he is so expressive in his love. No, he's a bit apathic. He's like, yeah, I love you guys, but just from a very, he can be flirtatious, you know. He can, with a page of cups, he's giving me like, he knows what to say, he knows what to do, he knows how to behave, to be charming, but it's all very slow. It's all very technical, or it's all very like, it's not all over the top, you know. I think that, I don't know how he is in his relationships, but he is a very soft person. He's a very sensitive man, but he takes his time. He's slow in his, you know, expression of like, yeah, I'm happy, or I love you guys, or I appreciate you, thank you. He's a bit like slow. He shows you, but it's like in his way, and it's very slow. It's very slow. Um, but yeah, with the Ace of Pentacles, manifestation is going to be very successful. He's going to manifest. I think that also maybe after this project, there's going to come another project. So somehow he's you know, he's going to keep advancing to, it's like his productivity is going to unlock again, and he's going to do something else. It's not like he's going to finish this and then, you know, go missing or go MIA. No, he's going to start getting more practical and getting more in line to be more productive. Maybe you're going to see more of him in the future. There's manifestation, there's money for him, you know, there's people investing in him. But I think that with the Nine of Swords, I think that there's something about success that it triggers his insecurities, or maybe he gets a bit paranoid about being seen, about being wanted, about being popular. I think that, I don't know if he has social anxiety, or there's something about him, you know, just like, you know, when you're like, yeah, I really want to be recognized, or maybe, you know, in the line of work that he's in, definitely you need exposure. Otherwise, people will forget about you. And he definitely has the love, he has the support. People want to see more of him. But every time he lands like a big role, or he gets, you know, this moment of, you know, fulfillment and success, he freaks out. He freaks out. He has nightmares. He has insomnia, or there's something in his mind that he's so sensitive. He's so sensitive. This is why I'm like, this man, you have to take him with care. You know, it has to have, you know, that you know, that label on him that it says fragile, fragile. He's fragile. He's fragile. Very soft. And also, he's not a man or an artist that you can push. That you can push to do something, or you can be like, oh, you know, you need the money, so go and do this because you need to get paid. He doesn't think like that. You know, all the ones, all the competitiveness that I read, or that I was able to pick on another actors and actresses in the past readings, I don't get it for him. I don't get it for him. But also with the Ace of Pentacles, the keyword of manifestation, you know, he probably is this person that, from his very, I would say, peaceful and passive energy, he's able to attract opportunities that maybe other people are fighting to get these opportunities. And he just gets it while being very slow and very chill. You know, he doesn't have that energy that you are like, wow, he really stands out, or he really does a lot to be famous or to be seen or to be talked about. No, actually, he's a very private person. Maybe there's a bit of social anxiety here. But I think that for him is, I don't know why I feel like like people knock on his door, because he's like a guy that probably doesn't go out that much. So it's like, you know, opportunity, you know, um, calling his way and being like, hello, we want to use your services, can you come work with us? Something like this, because he's not a pursuer, but once he's on the job, he's very responsible. He's very responsible once he's on the job. Mm. I hope he appears in season 3 of Alice in Borderland in September. Oh, maybe he will. Maybe he will. There's a lot of love for him. But he's like, yeah, I will go, like in a very informal way. Maybe it's a huge deal for a lot of actors, like being part of, of this project. And for him, it's like, yeah, I will show up. But this part of his charm, that he's not desperate. It's just that, his mind it works differently than, than others, works differently. Okay, guys, I'm going to continue. I'm going to continue with Dori Sakurada. Dori, that is like my biased Yuta best friend in the industry. I think that he's his best friend. Yeah, Dori Sakurada. Oh, well, two cards. Yes, a lot of cards. Like a lot of cards want to jump out. A lot of cards. It's like it's very interesting because it's like one is like positive, or one is like a bit like meh, and the other one is like somehow asserting, like no, it can be a bit confusing, but it's going to be positive at the end. But it's okay if you have fears, if you have insecurities. Yeah, okay, for Dory. Then I have to pull cards for Yuta, because I know that Yuta is going to get into another acting role very soon. So I want to see him as well. Death card. We have the Four of Pentacles. We have the Sun card in the middle. We have the Hangman, and we have the Six of Swords. Now, the Six of Swords actually came in reverse, but I arranged it, but it's in reverse. So let's leave it in reverse, because it did come out like this. The Moon, that is a spear. And then it says Eight of Pentacles, that it says apprenticeship. And then it says, apprenticeship. I don't know. How do you say, I don't know how to say, I don't know how to say this word. Wait, guys, I'm going to look for it online. Is entrepreneurship. Sorry, I didn't know what it, because in here it says the entrepreneurship. Oh, sorry, Sorry, guys, but you know what I mean. Um, yeah, entrepreneurship is not science nor art, is practice. So maybe he wants to be an entrepreneur, but he doesn't know how to. I think that he needs to sell himself better. There's something very, very like, like me being, like I started my work experience from a very young age, working as a salesperson. So it's all about also being an entrepreneur. And now that you have, social media and you know that everything is online and everything, you have to know how to sell yourself. So somehow the cards are like, you are stuck because you don't know how to reinvent yourself. You have to show more of yourself. You have to show another sides. People are curious about you, but maybe he's a bit shy, or maybe he's like a bit like he doesn't know how to reach the audience. He doesn't know how to sell himself better, and I think that he needs a coach, honestly. Maybe he spends more time with Yuta. Maybe Yuta can give him a few tips about maybe not, knowing how to sell himself, now knowing how to um you know um speak more with the fans, or promote better some businesses that he has, or some, if he's like, the ambassador of a brand, he has to show not just his face, because there's something about his presence alone. It causes a lot of attention. Definitely, he's a guy that stands out. He's a guy that with his own image and his own body and his own energy, like people really are like, oh, I know that guy. He's popular. Or I know that guy. I seen him in this, in this, in this. So definitely he is, a very a public person, or he's a very famous person. But somehow he has to get out of the box. I don't know if maybe that box is about him just not only appealing to the Japanese audience, or some international audience that follow Dori, but I think that he has the potential of being bigger. It's just that he's a bit awkward about like, oh, I don't know how to do this, or I don't know how to use social media, or I don't know how to talk to fans like that. And like I talked to them for a while, but then I wouldn't be able to do a live stream, a 2 hours live stream, 3 hours live stream with my fans. What do I tell them? I don't want to talk about myself. There's a part of him that he's like very much exposed because people recognize him, and he probably participates in a lot of like visual or events where he's seen, where he attends to, but maybe socially he doesn't know how to engage with people, or he doesn't know how to engage with the audience, that this is about being an entrepreneur. Because now the actors have to do a bit of this, a bit of that, to promote themselves. But yeah, with the death card and the Four of Pentacles, I think that he in the past he is reviewing, this part of him, somehow understanding that maybe the old ways in how he was trained, back then to be an actor, or to be a public figure, maybe the ways are changing, and he is a bit stuck. With the Four of Pentacles, there's something about him like being against change, which is very surprising because I know he's a Sagittarius. So I wonder if he has like a Taurus placement of somewhere, or a Scorpio placement, that he's a bit attached to his ways. There's something about him being like, no, I don't like these new ways. I'm not that into. I prefer to do it my way. I prefer to promote myself the way that I have been doing. This that the young people are doing, or others are doing. I'm curious about them, but I wouldn't be able to pull it off myself. There's something about him being like, no, I better just stay with what I usually do. And somehow, the cards is like, change is coming, whether you like it or not. You have to adapt. You have to adapt. He has to lose, maybe he's shy, so he has to lose a bit of that. And I think that he has been like observing, because he's a very intelligent person. So he's like, yeah, I know I seen it, and somehow I envy people that are able to do this, but I don't think that it works for me. So he's a bit like old fashioned in that sense. We have the sun card in the middle. So I think that honestly, maybe this year he's going to launch himself a bit more, and you're going to see him more, and maybe he's going to be a bit much more approachable. Because also with the death card, it's giving me darkness. It's giving me like maybe his energy, not him as an actor, not him as an actor playing a role, but maybe him as a man, as an energy, as a person. He exudes this very dark energy. Like, does he wear black all the time? There's something about him just being very dark, like very dark, like there's something about his energy. Maybe he doesn't smile that much. I know he doesn't smile that much. So there's something like it's giving me Darth Vader, or this guy of Harry Potter. um, but it's giving me dark clothes, like dark vibes, and actually he's a son. He's actually a very funny person. He's so funny. He's so entertaining. He has a really great humor. It's just that I don't know. Maybe he's just, he has to get out more. He has to get out more. He has to interact more. He has to smile more. He has to show a bit much more of light. Definitely. But yeah, I think that honestly, in the future, there could be a bit of indecision. Actually, maybe something is ending. Maybe some projects are ending for him, and he feels like, okay, where do I move on from now? I honestly think that he's going to feel a bit awkward, by the end of the year or the beginning of 2026. Maybe he's going to feel a bit awkward about where do I go from here. Because I think that he's very loved. Like, he really, whatever he shows himself, people really love to see him. But there's something about him. Maybe he's stuck in a sort of role, or he's stuck in his own views or beliefs. That these are the ones that don't allow him to fully advance or grow. I think that also he knows that he could, maybe attract a bigger audience, but I think that he is not ready to make that risk. There's something very stuck in him. I don't know what is it. I think that it has to do with beliefs. It's not so much about like, oh, because he doesn't have opportunities. No, I think that opportunities, he does have them, but there's something. Could it be that he doesn't like to um um get out, like he doesn't like to leave the country. There's something about him having opportunities overseas, and he probably goes because the Six of Swords in reverse, like, it's about movement, it's about traveling. There's something about him. Yeah, he travels, but he's like someone that he's like, I prefer to be in Japan. I prefer to be in Japan with my culture, with my things, with everything that I know. I don't see myself going, international, which is very odd for a Sagittarius man, because Sagittarius, they love to travel, they love other cultures. But I think that he has a belief that maybe he's very like nationalist. He's like, my country, and I like my country. I don't like to go on others. I like my food. I like Japanese food. I like this style. I think that, yeah, this could in the next months signify a bit of a stagnation in his endeavors, because um, he has to change. He has to change his mind. He has to change his mindset. So yeah, with the moon, fear, but the Age of Pentacles, apprenticeship. See, there's a lot that he can learn still. I don't know if he feels like, oh, I'm too old to learn about these things. I'm old to learn about these ways. I don't resonate with this. It's too late for me. What is going on with Dori? What is going on with him? Because I think that he needs to be more flexible, and I don't see it. I don't see it. But with apprenticeship, with the Eight of Pentacles, there's a lot of work to be done, a lot of improvement. Definitely, I do think that he could improve. He could actually learn something new, new ways. But yeah, and entrepreneurship, like I said at the beginning, is not science, it's not an art, is a practice. He has to practice more. He has to practice more to become this entrepreneur. He has to practice more. Yes, we are all shy. Yes, it's awkward. Yes, sometimes, being in front of a camera and just having to be yourself, you don't know, what do I talk about? What do I do? Will people like this? Will people like this part of me? But I think that people want a more like simple side of him, not him being this very, because also I think that him playing these dark roles or scary people, I think that is not good for him. Yeah, I think that he has to play like more like uplifting and funny roles, and where he can smile more, where he can just show a much more spontaneous part of himself, like a loving comedy or something cute. But don't play the scary dudes, don't play the psychos, because I know that sometimes in Japanese um, story, dramas, there's like the dark and mysterious guy, and I know his character for Alice in Borderland, so I know that he can be, a bit, sometimes I look at him and I remember the character of Alice in Borderland, so I'm like, and actually he's not like that, but once you play the character of the bully or it's really hard for the audience to be like, oh, he's actually very sweet. It's like, and if he doesn't smile and he doesn't open up to people, the more, that memory is going to stay in the audience. So he has to learn new tactics to reinvent himself. Otherwise, his career is going to suffer. Yes, and he knows this. But I think that the same thing, it happened to me with the Korean actor with Ahn Bo-hyun. I remember the first time I watched anything of his was when when he was playing the role of the bully, the Chaebol-san in Itaewon Class. When he played the role, then I saw him on, he was on Yumi Cells, and I was so against his character. I was like, I don't like this guy. I don't care if he's acting cute in this. I don't like him. He was the bully. Like, seeing his face on the screen for me was like, that man is a bad guy. Seeing his face, it was like it stuck in my mind that he will forever be a bully for me. And then he started like doing some more like, like the main lead, the protagonist, being romantic, being cute, being silly, and then I was like, he's actually nice. Okay. I started to pull away from that memory but it took me a very long time to appreciate him. And you know that Ahn Bo-hyun is a very fine man. So I would be missing a lot if I would stuck. And also for me, in Itaewon Class, besides his character being awful, he looked awful for me. He looked like an ugly guy because he was ugly inside and outside. But then seeing him like, grow, and but you have to get out of there. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck. I love him in Alice in Borderland. Yes, I don't. Yeah, I know him also from Alice in Borderland. My God. But also, I did watch him in um, this drama that he did with Yuta. Um, that it was cute, but it was a bit like stiff. Like, I don't know if my bias, his acting was a bit stiff. And also it was based on a manga, I believe, and it was cute. It was meant to be cute, but it was like maybe it was very like for high schoolers or something like this. Like these days, actors are stuck in particular roles. Yes, the cool guys, cool guy, some cool, Dachi, cool guy, something like this. With you, that's terrible. His hair was stiff. But my guy did he introduced some change, because first he was in this very action, very a very active and angry role, and like he was part of a gang, and now he was this sweet cool guy, but he was awkward, and I was like, I don't buy it. That's it's not a good script. I don't like it. No, it was so no. There's certain mangas that are just meant to be mangas. Like when you see him played as a person, it's not that. Okay, I'm going to continue with Tao Tsuchiya. 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 Oh, a lot of reversals. What is going on with these people? I never read reversals, but some cards come out reversal, and I'm like trying to fix them. But I do get, what they mean. I do get the feeling, what they're trying to say. Okay, for this actress, for Tao Tsuchiya, we have the Nine of Pentacles, we have the Death card, we have the Three of Cups in the middle, we have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, and we have the Ace of Wands. Then we have, from the other cards, we have the card of the Eight of Cups, that it says moving on, disappointment. Moving on, disappointment. And then we have the Six of Wands, that is here, the phrase it says, the first recognition or acknowledgement, it has to come from us. It has to be our own. We have to be, instead of waiting for others to acknowledge us or celebrate us, we have to celebrate and acknowledge ourselves. We have to be the first one that, recognizes our value, our triumph, instead of, waiting for others to validate you. It has to come from you first. You have to congratulate yourself and be like, I done well. I done well. It's very interesting, because I think that there's also, a lot of changes in this person's life, on Tao Tsuchiya. There's like a transformation also, there's something about, I don't know, maybe in the past, I don't know her career, but there's something about her, probably being very successful, or being, just she's very talented, definitely. But there's something about her shine. Wait, guys. Sorry. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, guys? Sorry. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Sorry, I wasn't looking. I wasn't looking at this side. Sorry. Wait. Okay. Thank God for the new, the second, the two mics. Thank God. Sorry, I dropped it. I hope it wasn't that annoying for your ears, guys. Thank you for letting me know. Sorry, I wasn't looking. When did I? Oh my, you were, you were, you were really like letting me know, like how many minutes had I been talking? How many minutes? No, I don't do readings on people that pass. No, I find that no, no. Let them rest. So disrespectful. Wait, guys, I'm going to start again. Okay. The death card. But I talked about there's something about her individuality being being it's like this part of her being celebrated individually is over. Did you get that part? Mm. I think that there's something about her, maybe in the past or in a couple of years, maybe she's someone that people know her. People know her a lot from her individual works. Or there's something about people being like, her, her. I know her from this. I remember her. The Nine of Pentacles and the Death card. There's something just very. Very interesting about people thinking about her individually, or maybe people praising her. If she was part of the project, people focuses more on her. So I wonder if she was like a child actor, or there's something about her standing out alone. People praising her individually. Maybe she always had these roles where she was the protagonist and people are very fond of her. They love her work, they love her very much. But with the death card, there's something about like, this year is not going to be all about you. This year is more about, the people that you have been working on, maybe working with. There's collaboration. Maybe it's about, I don't know, maybe it's about her not being seen that much in this project, and actually the others that they get celebrated the most is like her co-stars, not so much her. But I think that this I know that she is an Aquarius, so there's something about her changing. The focus that used to be on her so much now is going to be more on her peers, more on the others. Maybe the others are going to shine more than her. Maybe her role is not going to be that active, or maybe she's not going to be that present. I think that there's something about lack of participation. So I think that this year is about her group of colleagues, the people that she works with. The other actors are going to have the celebration, are going to have the spotlight for her. It's going to be, she is amazing, but these actors are also going to be recognized for their efforts and them showing up. And I think that for her, this is very meaningful, and probably she has been like a huge supporter of this happening, because the Three of Cups is like, their success is my success. So she's not like jealous, she's not combative, she's not like, oh, I wanted more screen time, why do you give more screen time to these people? Like, no. For her, it's like, is she also because maybe there's like an emotional bond with her and her co-stars. So there's something just very emotional about this. Like she's like, they deserve to have the spotlight. They deserve it. And actually, I'm nothing without them. So it's really nice. I think that probably she's going to get closer to them, or she's going to get more emotional. Um, mhm. Yeah, there's something about lack of participation, or maybe inactive. Her appearing, but not that active like she used to. Not getting that combative herself. More like the others are going to take the spotlight for her. And I think that for her is like a great accomplishment. Actually, I think that she has grown very attached to this group of people. So for her, it's like it's friendship, is celebrating the others. It's like, I don't want to celebrate alone. So it's very interesting because, she comes from this transformation. So maybe, in the past, she used to be very celebrated, or she used to be very popular, maybe in her other acting roles. Is she a child actor or something like this? Because it seems like people are like her. I don't care about the others. Her. But it changed. This is changing, and I think that she's like, there's something about her also slowing down. She probably wants to start over, but there's a new project for her, but it's very different from this one. But she cannot wait to finish this. Honestly, maybe it's Alice in Borderland, because she's like, I wish this process would move faster, but she's definitely is a great experience for her and her people. She's in this card. She's like, this is not about me or what I gain. This is about us. This is about us. This is about all the people that contribute to this, and maybe she had become more attached to these ghost stars than any other experience that she had so far. This is why I seen her in the past, being celebrated but being alone. Probably, I don't know if maybe the other co-stars that she had in the past, they didn't stand out that much, or they didn't accomplish that much. So all the applause or all the recognition, it was to her, but maybe, the others didn't get their time. And in this, she's like, I'm so proud, that these people that started this project with me, that they are getting their flowers. I'm so happy. I think that she is she a producer or something like this? Because I do see that she sort of, it's not about giving, instructions or giving advice. I think that she's very intelligent. Like, she could be involved in some decision making. Could it be? Is she a producer or something like this? Because I think that she's much more than an actor. That she knows about technical things, or maybe about filmmaking. I don't know. But I think that she really wants, to maybe start over, and she wants to start over passionately and doing something very different to this that she has been doing all these years. Maybe she also, just like Kento, maybe she's like, I really love this. I have great memories of this, but I really want to move on. I want to move on to something different, because it's like, yeah, she's not stuck, but she wishes like time would pass slow, it's like faster, maybe because, like I mentioned, this industry is very competitive, so time matters. Maybe she's thinking about her age. I don't know how old she is, but she's thinking about her age. She's thinking about her, her desires, and she's like, I want to make the most of this while I can, so then I can finally relax. Yeah, because we have the Eight of Cups, that is move on, that is like, this, her being like, it's time for me to move on. It's time for me to move on. It doesn't have to be that tragic, or something that, it has to happen, something like negative. I think that it has to do with her, maybe, growing up, or, her vision has evolved. Her vision has changed. She has changed, definitely. I think that she's like, in the past, I used to be very selfish, and now I'm more like pro team. She had developed a lot of emotional attachment to her co-stars. This is very important for her. So I think that is necessary to say this, that this is a friendship that she built with these people. It could be the actors, but it could also be the people working in the staff, working behind the camera. This is why, I feel that she's a very nice person. She's someone that is not like oh yeah, I only talk to the actors or I only talk to my co-stars. No, she's friendly. She's open. It's just that maybe she's a bit tired and she wants a change. She wants a change. But yeah, about recognition, this card being like, you have to give you your flowers, be you the one that gives you the recognition before you expect the others to give you that recognition. I don't know if she's waiting for some kind of award. If she's waiting for some kind of recognition when it comes to award. But I don't know why I feel like awards are very basic for her. Even though she's very successful. But I don't see it. I don't know. Could it be that recognition is very elusive for her? Like she's about to get an award or recognition and then it disappears? I don't know. But she's very happy. It's just that maybe she's like, I want to advance. I want to advance. I need to advance. She's married. And the last card was the Ace of Wands. Could it be that she's like looking to get married? Like not get married, have a baby? Because the Ace of Wands is giving me fertility. It's giving me fertility. But the Knight of Pentacles was in reverse. Could it be that this is her partner? This is her husband? There's a bit of frustration. There's a bit of frustration maybe with the creation. Like, I want to create something new. This could be literally a new life. But there's some, there's some, things that it's not the time yet. It's not the time yet. No, but I think that she's thinking about it. Creating a new life. Yeah, but she's thinking about it, about time management. Like, I need to move on. I need to move on. But she's a bit disappointed in something. I don't know what. I think that it's emotional. I think that things are going great, but it's not what she wants. This year can be a year of a lot of like, yeah, I'm getting what I want, but I don't feel like recognized enough. I don't think that this is. She has a child. It's odd. I don't see children like, yeah, you said she has a child, but I don't see, I don't see child. I don't see children energy. But I do see like a strong desire of, giving life to something new. Maybe she's bored. She feels, I don't see her stuck, but I think that she wishes time would pass faster. The Knight of Pentacles in reverse is giving me like, you're not getting the results that you want. And you're like, come on, can we speed up the process? Come on. Just that, her being an Aquarius is like, it can be a lot of things. When you're like, it can be a lot of things. Okay. I'm going to continue with Suzu Hirose. Hirose. Suzu Hirose. Or Hirose. Suzu Hirose. A very wealthy man in here. In the middle of her reading. Who is this? Who is this? It's like this very wealthy man in here. Like, is she married also? Is she married also? Is she having an affair with someone? I don't see an affair, but I think that the man here is more important than her. There's something about this man being like, wow. She almost married Kento. What? Is this her his ex fiance? Yeah, yeah, because I see him. I'm like, I see him. I'm like, why is this man so important? What is this man in here? He's so taking over everything, and she's like, okay. I mean, he's still in here, so probably people are going to still like mention them. Yeah. Okay, for her, did I say the cards? Nine of Pentacles. Sorry, guys. Eight of Wands. We have the King of Pentacles. We have the Ten of Pentacles. And we have the Five of Swords. And then we have the Three of Swords. And we have the Queen of Wands, Honorable. So finally she appears. At the end of the reading with the last card, she appears. Because why is it all about this man? Why is it all about this man? Like, I mean, I guess that it sort of shows like how misogynistic the industry is. You know, that it's all about who you're dating. And if he's famous, it's all about him. Like we don't remember. Even though I do see her being very independent, and also she's very talented. We have a lot of talent in here. She's very independent. She's a very talented person. Definitely, no doubt about this. She comes with this, and there's something I think that probably if there's some friction among them, if there's some maybe the breakup, or if there's some disagreement, is because she values her individuality very much. And I think that there was something that changed the moment she started like seeing him. It seems like it affected her popularity, or it affected her. People don't remember her anymore. It's like her name is associated to his. So and the man is important. We have to like it seems like the whole industry is like your value is attached to who you're dating. So I think that for her, I find it very uncomfortable, honestly, because it seems more like a Kento tarot reading than hers, honestly. And she knows this. This is why she's like, yeah, it's not like she's denying him. Also, he's present in the reading. So probably, could it be that they have like a business together, or they have like, I don't want to say like they have family together, but probably both of them are part of a very long legacy. So I think that it's going to be very difficult for people to stop mentioning him, because he is here in the middle. And I don't see that he's going to move. I think that from his part, he's enjoying this because he has much more. And also, it's very interesting because in her reading, he appears like this very stable, rich, luxurious king of pentacles. But I read for him, and his energy doesn't feel like the king of pentacles. Actually, he's a bit like a mess, I would say. So maybe, people, the view that they have of him being with her is like, oh, they're power couple, they're gold, they are amazing together, they are successful, beautiful together. And actually, I mean, I think that there's an idealization. um it's more like, you're dating a celebrity, and probably there's money also. I do see money here. So I wonder, if they have some kind of contract, or if they have been sharing a house, or some, money, some investments, because at the end we have the Five of Swords. So definitely there's going to be a sort of battle, a disagreement for her. Maybe she's going to be like, yeah, I would want my independence back. So, can you give me my part? Can we split the parts? Can we like properly separate? Materially, I mean, like materially, like there's money here, there's money, there's legacy, and probably, Kento is going to be mentioned that he's going to be seen as very successful, wanted. Everything that he does is perfect this year. So this is why he is in the reading, and she's here like looking at him like this. She's like, yeah, like, I mean, I don't see that she hates him. Like, I don't think that is this, but she has like a huge. There's something about money here. There's something about money, stability, reputation, legacy. Um, it doesn't feel romantic. It feels like a contract. It feels like we have a legacy to sustain, or we have been sustaining this, but not anymore. So things are going to get awkward eventually. But it's not like, oh, I love you, or I miss you. It's more like, give me back my money, give me back my share. But I think that she's like, he got more, you know, he got more, benefits than me in this, being associated with me. So I don't know. I think that it gets awkward. It gets awkward. Like, and here the phrase of the Three of Swords, it says that fear of change don't make you romanticize what hurts you. That the fear of change don't make you romanticize what hurts you. So I think that probably Kento is very much stable in here, or maybe people, their families, even the industry are all pushing it for them to sustain this, at least for a while. And she's like, I want to dare to do something different. I want to get out of this, because this is all money and business. It doesn't feel romantic. But I think that she's also afraid of maybe losing her, her own individual activities, or money. There's money, there's business in here, there's business that she's like, I'm kind of annoyed at him, but I don't want to spoil his moment, or I don't want to create a chaos, because even though I'm upset, I don't want to sort of like, destroy his castle at the moment, because he's doing well. So it seems like everything accommodates around him. So I find it very, like, the cards are like, at some point you're going to have to break, this contract that you have, or you're going to have to stand up and say, I want my part, or I want my share, or let's fix this, because he is like, living very comfortably in her life. Like he is like the respected one, and she's in here, looking side eye him. Um, but yeah, Queen of Wands, she's a very honorable person. She has honor. So maybe, she feels a bit guilty about maybe asking him her money back or something like this. It's about money, guys. It's about money. And she's like, I don't want to say the words because people will think that I'm a gold digger or that I'm after his money, but we got this shared. So I need him to give me my part. So, but at the same time, it's not the moment. You cannot interrupt him, or she cannot reach him. There's a wall that separates him from her. And for him, that's fine, because for him it's like, if they think that we are still together, I don't mind. He's not like, no, 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 guys, we're separated. No, no, no. He's like, if they think that I'm still part of your life, I don't mind, because he doesn't see consequences. Now for her, it's a bit annoying. It's starting to get annoying. So she wants her independence back. She wants to be valued for her, for what she does. But very messy, very messy. I'm hearing that my relatives are home at my dad's house. I can hear them. Um, and I'm like, I don't want to go and say hi. So I probably will stay here with you guys. I will stay here, and I will try to make the most of my presence here. Um, because I don't want to go and say hi. Also, today is we celebrate Friends Day. I don't know if you guys have that celebration, but today is Friendship Day in Argentina. So I will go and see my best friend in a couple of hours, but not now. So I'm making time. I'm making time. I'm making time. So yeah, make the most of my presence here, guys. Yes, we do have time for Yuta's reading. Let's see. Let's see for Yuta's acting career. Why do I? Okay, I wanted to pull another one from here, but I pulled another one. Oh, Yuta. Oh, Yuta. You're making me confused again. Oh my. I meant to pull a card from this. Okay. Okay, Yuta. He wanted to get 6 cards then. Oh my. Now he messing my spread. I already have it arranged. Okay, Yuta. 8 of Swords. 9 of Pentacles. The 7 of Cups in the middle. The Emperor. The Wheel of Fortune. Queen of Swords. The keyword is creativity. See that the Queen of Swords has like a pen, like a brush or a pencil. So nice. Creativity. The Magician. This is the extra card that I pulled. And then we have the 10 of Swords. That it says everything has its last day, even your worst thoughts, your worst thoughts. Yeah, it's like the 10 of Swords, like the final days of suffering. Like, it's like it has to stop. You cannot be like in agony forever. Like, it has to stop. It has been challenging, but stop worrying. Stop worrying. Stop being sad. Stop being negative. You know. I think that for Yuta, having the 7 of Cups in the middle, definitely this is a moment for him to have plenty opportunities when it comes to acting. There's plenty of opportunity for Yuta in Japan. Maybe he's getting a lot of scripts, he's getting a lot of different opportunities. So he somehow, like, this year, when it comes to Japan, he feels like, okay, I can choose. I can choose. But yeah, the 8 of Swords and the 9 of Pentacles from the past. I think that he's finally like unleashing his potential. There's something about maybe in the last few months he had been feeling still a bit tied up, a bit restricted, not knowing he wanted a change or knowing he deserved better. But when you're like, yeah, I deserve better, but I don't know, like, who is going to want to hire me or who is going to keep supporting me so I can shine more. And I think that he was able, with his own individual work, maybe his own individual work, this chance of him, showing more of his individual activities, it boosts this opportunity of him being more seen, him being, because he is famous, but somehow, maybe this last solo project was very outstanding, was very important, the way he was, presented, or the way he present himself, he's more mature and more like, it was all about him. It was all about him. And he did a really good job, also talking about himself, expressing, talking about his own achievements, individual achievements. So there's something about people really like supporting him individually. They're like, oh yeah, I seen that guy. Yeah, I see him here and there. But now he's like much more stable, and he has a lot of accomplishments, and he was able to maybe have more space, maybe in Japan, maybe he had these interviews or people just asking him about, like, okay, how is your career doing? Tell us more about you. And he been like, him naming 1, 2, 3, like, I did this, I do this, on these other countries I did this, overseas I do this. So Yuta has a lot of, it's just that maybe in the past he wasn't able to have these places to talk about himself without having other people trying to, give him a very strict um, script of what he had to say. Like, oh, you're an idol. You're supposed to answer this and this and this, but don't talk too much about you. You have to talk about the group. So somehow this year was able for him to, let loose a bit of the chains. And the 7 of Cups is the representation of him having a lot of offers, and I think that there's something that is changing. In here I see a very influential man. This could be like a co-star of his that is a very, respected actor, maybe, that is going to change the course of his career. If there's something that Yuta does have, is that he has this very strong and powerful men Japanese men in the industry that are like, I support you. Let's advance to the next chapter. Come with me. I will teach you how to do this. I will teach you how to turn your fortune around. So this is something actually very important, because I believe when I read for Yuta at some point, because I did read for him a lot of times, but there's something about, about Yuta being friends with the right people. He knows a lot of people, definitely. He knows a lot of people, he takes pictures with people, but he puts a lot of intention in getting to know or getting closer to very powerful people with experience, powerful people that are older than him, that are more established, that are more celebrated, that probably they're not that active, but they come back every once in a while, but they are already, very proud of themselves, people in their thrones, literally. So I think that he is like, instead of making just very like silly collaborations or just laughing with people of my age and being funny and being cute, I want to hang out, with the real gentlemen of this industry. I want to hang out with the men in the industry, with the bosses of this industry, with the men that have charisma, that are masculine, that are, possessive, that are, that give this Aries energy, very vocal, very straightforward, very rough. He's like, those are my mentors. Those are the people that I follow. And the people follow him back. The people are like, you have a good future. You have a great future. Like, so let's turn this around for you. So, and also these people pushes, because they are bosses, they are leaders in their lives. They push Yuta to be a leader in his own life. It's like, even though there could be something very individualistic of everything that Yuta is doing at the moment, but it's going to pay off, because I think that these mentors of his are people that are like, you have to stop talking a bit about the group. Don't mention it that much. Try to differentiate yourself a bit from that part that, yeah, they give you a lot, but you are not that. Now you are more like on our side. So come with us, and just talk more about you. Don't talk about K-pop, and talk more about the masculine side of you. And we have the Queen of Swords that is his creativity. So again, I see this Queen of Swords could also be like a manager, someone entering his life that also is very intelligent, is also someone very sharp, is probably someone that is in the business as well, that is like, I can give you advices, I can show you to boost your creativity, to write more lyrics. If you want to write lyrics, your own songs, there's a Queen of Swords coming also for him. It could be like a new manager or someone that is going to arrange his matters in Japan, older than him, but very knowledgeable. So she's also going to give a structure and sustenance to his creations, because he needs more content. The magician is also very mercurial. So it's about you learning to communicate more and just give a message of substance. Because one thing that Yuta does well is that he can sell himself very well. He's selling himself very well. He's selling himself very well. But I think that this Queen of Swords is like, we need to polish a bit your script. We need to hear you talk more. And you need to say things that are attractive for the audience. A bit of makeover, but communicational. It has to do with communication. And yeah, the Ten of Swords is like the past sad days are over. Like probably in the near future, Yuta will not have to talk about being sad or being misunderstood or being sad and lonely and heartbroken. It's like being dark and depressed. It's like, you can create a new you, a new version of you without having to be depressed, and having to talk about like, oh, life is so unfair. Like, let's change the lyrics, Yuta. Let's change the lyrics. Like, no. Yeah, it's a smart move. Yeah. It's just that I'm feeling like he's going to, separate from NCT 127. And I think that we have seen it. I had noticed this in his body language when he went to SM Town. he's very far away from anything SM related. But yeah, I guess, this is his way of showing people that, that this is where he stands now. He's different. Different. Do you want us to pull card about this? You have it here. Ask. Ask. This was supposed to be like a Q&A also, but I was like, I was reminded that I had to do the Japanese actors series, but I also, since I'm making time here, because I don't want to get out, I don't want to leave, so yeah. Let's see. Wait. My handwriting is a mess, guys. I need to get me a new iPad where I can just, type, because my handwriting is a mess. It's a mess. But I made advances, guys. I got new mics. So I'm happy. I'm happy. I made advances. I told you I was going to get new mics. It's just that it took me a long time to get them. But I'm improving, guys. I'm improving because I think that you guys are worth it. I don't want interruptions. I feel awful when things like this happen. And I do appreciate that you guys are here for me. And you guys are like, Vanessa, you are running out of sound. We cannot hear you. Yeah. Okay. The future of the NCT 127, do they have a future? How is the group? They do have a future. There's still going to be a lot of NCT 127 for people. There's future. Yeah. I'm like, oh, wow. Wow. This is very similar to the reading that I did for NCT 127 when the whole scandal happened with that individual that we do not name. That they got cards of like, the show must go on. And in this case, for NCT 127, I think that the cards are like, come on, guys, stand up. Stand up. It doesn't matter how many of you are. We don't care if the whole unit is full. We don't care who is enlisting, who is here, who is not. You're going to keep advancing. You have a very unique concept. People want to see you. You guys are entertainers and you're very talented. So don't stop. Don't stop. We start. King of Pentacles. Six of Swords. The Magician in the middle. Knight of Wands and Three of Wands. They have the six of wands, that this is about recognition. Remember that I said, like, this phrase, it says, like, first you have the recognition has to come from our own, it has to come from you. You have to give the recognition. You have to give yourself the flowers instead of waiting. Not instead. It's like, the others can recognize you and give you the recognition and the trophy and everything. But first, you have to deliver this to yourself first. You have to give yourself the flowers. Give yourself like the pat in the back and be like, you done great. It has been tough, but you done great. And the 10 of Cups, honor. 10 of Cups, honor. Again, like guys, it doesn't matter what happened with certain people. You guys shouldn't hide. You have honor. You are very honorable people. Sometimes, some people make mistakes. Sometimes, we mess up because they're human at the end. But at the same time, with the 10 of Cups, it's like you are, wait, guys, I'm going to see if I can get Kali here because she's meowing. Wait. I hope that you guys don't hear the whole movement that I did to get Kali here. Oh my God. And now she's here. Oh my God. I hope that she doesn't. This cat. Okay. Thank you guys. Um, um, I think that definitely there's something that, in these cards, what I see is that NCT 127 has very not only famous people, but they have a lot of potential. They have a lot of potential. They have a lot of stardom. We have the king of pentacles, and we have the six of swords. So someone is coming back. Maybe it's the leader, maybe it's the young. So there's there's like opulence. There's a lot of public image. So um, we have also, the magician in the middle. So there's them mastering the situation, mastering who comes, who goes. Everything feels so intelligent, so fulfilled. So I think that in here, we have, again, you have very young people, very passionate members, with the Knight of Wands and the Three of Wands. If the youngest have to stay while the others enlist, they are going to make it work. They are going to make it work. They are going to make it work. So I don't see them stopping. I think that success, hard work, visibility, fame is going to be there all the time. Of course that there's some people entering, there's others going, there's a lot of movement, but they do have the ability and the talent to master. If there's absences, they will fill the absences. If there's some people entering again, there's a lot of like adaptability. The Six of Wands, and again we have the Ten of Cups. That is honor. So I think that also this is the love of people, probably, is that people seeing them, like everything that happened to them, at the end, people are like, the ones that stayed or the ones that are continuing are very honorable people. And they probably, give each other a lot of honor. They give each other a lot of honor. They make each other um, look good. They love each other, they support each other. I definitely think that they are family. At least, even though there's moments where, because we do have like we do have a lot of strong personalities in here. We have the King of Pentacles, we have the Magician, we have the Knight of Wands. There's a lot of people coming and going, individual projects. I'm going over there, don't bother me, I don't call me. Then you have people that enter, and when they enter, they are so magnetic that they steal the attention, probably getting more attention than the other, but it works for a unit like this. It works for NCT 127. And with the 10 of Cups, the 10 of Cups is community, So I think that at the end, there's something about in the future of NCT 127, people are going to finally let go of expectations and appreciate that the guys that are part of this are still active, are still giving you this quality. It's not about the songs anymore. It's not about if they get a good song or not. It's that they are able to pull it off. They are entertainers. Maybe they are not stars, but they are entertainers. They know how to make things work. They know how to keep you hooked. They know, even if you are like, no, I don't like their style, but you do know certain members. You may not know all NCT units of all the members, but you do know some. And some of them are very successful and are going to be very rich in the future. So you have to honor the community. That even though, this Lee Suman, was a bit, controversial in some aspects, this system that he created, the community, the system of, the never-ending debuts, the graduation system. I don't know what he created, but this sense of community of a lot of faces and a lot of very important faces, because these people are so talented and they will keep you entertained, even if you're like, oh, I don't like their music, but they will keep you watching because they're talented. And either you stay because of your favorite and you're just looking at your favorite, but you cannot deny that in there's mastership. There's people that know what they're doing. They're very talented and they're going to give up mercy. Yes. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know what she's talking about. She just wants to go out. And why does she want to go out? I don't know. I don't know. She's doing whatever. She's doing whatever. She is a mess. This is why I don't want her here, because she's very she's a child. She's a baby yet. He's a baby yet. And also she knows how to, she's an iPad kid. So I'm afraid that she could touch something and just like ruin something, because she is an iPad kid. She sees a screen and she automatically does this. Not the iPad kid. It's my fault. It's my fault. I had a tablet, and when she first got home, I taught her. I play some videos, some cat videos, and I would put it on the screen, and she would be like, "It was my fault." And now she changes. Now, if you have TikTok, she does know how to swipe. Oh, I have to read for someone wanted a reading for Taehyung of BTS and Yoona. So I'm going to make the most of this time. Let's see. No, Yoona of Girls' Generation. Let's see. Taehyung, Yoona, and their connection. They're friends. They're friends. They know a lot of powerful people. They have a lot of people around them. I mean, I think that they are royals, honestly, at this point. They both got queens, so they speak like to each other as, as people that they do respect themselves a lot. But yeah, they have a friend in common that is also someone popular that could like that could bring drama to. I miss the times when I had a very silent cat. Okay, from Taehyung's part, we have the Empress and the Queen of Swords. I'm laughing at Kali. Then we have Justice from Yuna's part. We have Justice and the Queen of Cups. So both of them have cups, and if you see like this, they are looking at each other. They are looking at each other like this. So there's like a huge balance in respect. There's something about them communicating properly. I think that they had grown, they had advanced so much in their careers but there's like an equal respect. Like you're a queen, but you too are a queen. So so it's nice because from the card for the part of Taehyung, there's something about him also having like a glow up in his character and also the way he views himself. So he's like, now I'm royal. I'm one of you guys. Because obviously from Yuna's part, there's more balance. There's something about her thinking that he's cute and being like, oh, he's cute. How he's standing up for himself, how he's asserting his own dominion, how he loves himself. But there's a man like that is sort of like dividing this situation. There's a man that they have in common. This could be an actor as well. But we have the Five of Wands that it says strife and it says trouble and tests. So there's a man that is somehow it's more like looking at Taehyung. I don't know if he's looking at Taehyung like sort of like competition and being like stay away from her. But I think that he honestly, like from Taehyung's part, he's like, I'm just having fun. Like he's not hitting on her. It's just that he's rich, he's beautiful, he's young, he's glowing. He has this whole energy and assertiveness in the way he's presenting himself. He's not a child, a teenager anymore. He's a man of his with his own mindset, with his own point of view. He's very assertive. He's very straightforward. So maybe this person is like, you are being too nice with her, or you are being too friendly. She's like touching my but I think that from her part, she's like giving him respect, but she's been, nice with him, and she's also been very fair. Maybe there's something about her being like, I want to give him back because he has been so nice with me through the years. So there's something about her wanting to be fair with him, and it's, I don't know why I think that Yoona also has like high standards for, she doesn't call a friend like just any person, she's like very peculiar about connections in the industry. But in the case of him, she is like, he's a man of value. I trust him. And also, her represented as the Queen of Cups, she feels very protective over him, maybe because she knows him from before. So there's something very motherly about her. Like, no, that's my baby, But also she's she's a very communicative person. So I think that both of them are very assertive in their communication. They don't sugarcoat things. They're very honest to each other, because she has the justice and he has the Queen of Swords. So there's something, I don't know if they are giving each other advices, especially her giving him advices about law and about the rights, or maybe some legal advice. I think that she's very generous toward him. It's like, come with me, that I'm going to give you some lessons, or I'm going to teach you some things that maybe you don't know about. But you should know certain things about law, how law works when it comes to us, because I think that he wants to go independent in something, and he needs, the help of someone that probably has already done it. I think that he wants ownership of his name and his brand. So he's sort of going in there, like, and she has all the info. So he's like, you are the person. But they have a good friendship, definitely. Okay. Thank you. But yeah, there's someone in here that doesn't approve of this. If there's someone that is getting in the way, someone that could cause a bit of problems. I would say someone very jealous or possessive, that they don't like Taehyung being that close to Yoona. And they're like, like, don't talk to her, or maybe advising her, like, don't get too close to him, but yeah, this is all I see. But it's a very even relationship. It's a relationship. Okay, guys, I will have to end this. Because my cat is going to destroy my house and my things, and I don't want this. So yeah, I'm going to end this. Thank you so much to everyone that joined, and thank you so much for supporting my content. Please don't forget to leave a like, and I'll see you on Wednesday. That on Wednesday, I'm going to read for romance in 2025, the rest of 2025, for Stray Kids members. Okay, it's going to be dedicated to all the Stray Kids member only. Okay, thank you guys for being here. I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.